Hello, intermediate band, and welcome to the next installment of our theory lessons together. I have a question for you to start out with. I want to know what, I can't show it very well. This, see, it's tape measure, right? So this and this and a certain aspect of music theory have in common. What is the commonality between these items? And can you think of anything in music theory that is used for the same kind of purpose? Kind of a roundabout question. It's not too hard though, if you know anything about theory. First of all, what are these things for? To measure things, right? I've been using this a lot in this new space I have behind me to make sure that my wall art is the same size or same distance away from each other. I've been making measurements for new curtains and window blinds and all of those things. Protractor um, can be used to measure angles or just as a straight edge, or, you know, as long as it's not very big, you can see the distance between something. So they're units of measure or a way to measure things, right? In music theory, we also measure the distance between notes often, and those distances are called intervals. And that's what today's lesson is about, is intervals and how to count them. This is really just a part one of intervals. There is way more to know about intervals than what I'm going to cover today, but this is going to get you started with it. Okay. So, of course, the first thing I'm going to do is share my whiteboard with you. Let's start out with some, or a definition anyway. The interval, the word interval in music theory just means the way we measure the distance between two pitches or two notes. Notes and pitches are the same thing, right? So that's all an interval is. You can think about it like the musical equivalent of an inch or a millimeter or a foot or a degree, or just a unit of measurement. That's all it is. It's nothing very fancy. Intervals are named by counting the notes from the bottom up, including the two notes that are given. And we assign that a number. So if I asked you, what is the interval of C to E? You would count C, D, E. That's three pitches, 1, 2, 3. So the interval of C to E is a third. Okay, so you just count up how many notes are in between, including the two that they gave you. And however many that is, that's the number it is. Easy. There is more, like I've said before, there is more to naming intervals. But for now, this lesson, all you need is the number. I am going to throw a couple more definitions to you. Harmonic means that the two notes are played at the same time, like harmony, like a chord. Melodic intervals mean that the two notes are played separately from each other. You play one and then you play another one. These terms really have nothing to do with the harmonic and melodic minor scales that we've been learning, so don't confuse the two. In this instance, when you're talking about intervals, we're just talking about whether we play them at the same time or we play them separately from each other. So that can be confusing. So I don't want you to get started on the wrong foot here. All right. So pretty basic. We're going to go over a few and I'm going to let you listen to them because it is important also that you start hearing what these intervals sound like. I'm thinking of putting together a listening quiz for you soon so that you can practice listening to these and knowing whether or not they're, sorry, the sun started to shine and I'm getting a weird glare. Whether or not you can identify them by sound is another part of this that we'll get to later. All right, so let's get some practice doing this. So again, harmonic intervals are played at the same time. I've written these in bass and treble clefs so that everybody can see it in their favorite clef. If we are going from one note to the very same note, the very same pitch, it is called a first, or most often we call it a unison. It is the same note. We're not going anywhere. So first and a unison are the same. It also means the same pitch. If we go from one note to the very next letter, it's a second. So from C to D is a second. From C to E, we already talked about, is a third. A fourth goes from four pitches, right? So we have C, D, E, F. That's a fourth. Continuing on up, just going one note at a time, you have fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighths. Eighths are also called the octave. You notice these are the same notes, C and C, but they're not the exact same pitch because they're not played exactly in the same spot on a keyboard or on your own instrument or on the staff. They're not the same as this interval that is actually the same note. This is the same note, an octave apart. Okay, so you may have heard me tell you before, just play it down an octave or play that up an octave. What I mean is choose the note that is the same letter but in a different spot on your instrument or on the staff. It's easy to do, right? All right, melodic intervals, obviously, we already talked about them, are played like a melody. You don't sing one note or several notes at the same time, and you don't sing melodies with all the notes at the same time. So a melody, a melodic interval are notes that are played separately. So here we have our first or our unison. It's still called unison even though I didn't write it down here. C to C is just a first. Still have a second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and octave. They're the same, even though I didn't write octave this time. We have C to C, but they're not the exact same pitch. Okay, so I'm going to let you listen to these now. Hopefully my computer's loud enough. And so you can start listening to what they sound like. So here we go. Just listen. Okay, nothing earth shattering there. Here's what they sound like played melodically. Okay, easy, right? All right, let's see if you can do it. I'm going to give you an example, and you only need to tell me the number of the interval and whether it is melodic or harmonic. The sharps and flats in these do make a difference, but they're for that part that we're not doing yet. So today you only need to tell me the number of the interval and whether it is melodic or harmonic. So let's do the first one together. We have D to F. It happens to be an F sharp, but it works the same way whether it's sharp or natural. We have D, E, F. That's a third. We have three notes in between, counting the two that they give us. So that's a third. The treble clef is playing a melodic third, where the bass clef has a harmonic third, or anharmonic third. Okay, you do the next one by yourself. We have E flat to A flat. Count the number in between and tell me whether it's melodic or harmonic. Okay, should have been easy, right? We have E, the first one, then F, then G, then A. E, F, G, A, that's a fourth. Treble clef is playing them at the same time, so that's a harmonic fourth. Bass clef has a melodic fourth. Next one, F to C. This interval is a fifth of F, G, A, B, C. F, G, A, B, C, that's a fifth. Melodic and harmonic. E to F sharp. Those are right next to each other, so hopefully you can see and understand immediately that this one is a second. The treble clef, does it have a harmonic or a melodic second? Hopefully you answered harmonic because they are played at the same time. Melodic second is down in the bass clef. Okay, this one's super easy. 3 seconds. Done. Hopefully you noticed right away that this is a unison pitch or a first interval. These, you see the stems going up and down. This means that there are two parts sharing the same pitch. And this means that this is a harmonic interval and this is the melodic interval of a unison pitch. Here we have G to G again, but this time they are not the exact same pitch. They are located in different places, so this is an octave rather than a unison. We have harmonic and then melodic. Only two more. A to F, or A flat to F. Give me the number and whether it is harmonic or melodic. All right, so we have A, B, C, D, E, F. That's 6 pitches, so this is a harmonic sixth, and this is a melodic sixth. Only one left is the 7th. Hopefully you already figured that one out while I was talking. This is a melodic 7th because they are played separately, and this is a harmonic 7th played at the same time. This is going to sound very strange because it's not all in the same key, and so I'm still going to let you listen to it even though one clef is playing it harmonic and one is melodic, so it's going to just be a little bit weird, but bear with me and just try to listen to what these pitches sound like. Beautiful, right? So, quick review. Intervals are just a name that we use to measure the distance between one pitch and another pitch. We have two kinds so far. We have a melodic interval that are played one note at a time, and a harmonic interval that is played at the same time. Neither of those terms have anything really to do with the harmonic or melodic minor scales. They have more to do with how you play those two notes. So don't get confused there. Every one of these intervals has a number assigned to them. The number is reached or arrived at or figured out by counting from the bottom pitch to the upper pitch, and counting the two notes they give you, how many notes you have is the number you have. Okay, so far it's pretty simple, not a lot to it. What happens if instead of giving you the two notes, I give you the interval and you have to tell me the two notes? It's not hard, right? You can still do the same process. If I say, what is a note that is a 7th above D? You just count from D 7 notes. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp. In the scale, it doesn't matter, right? It's still seventh. So D to C sharp is a seventh. Pretty easy, right? That's all you need to know for this part of interval training. Um, I should have given you a handout in class, and that the information in this video should help you be able to finish that assignment and make sure your name is on it. I keep getting stuff without names. Shame on you. And then you can turn it in class on Thursday. As always, if you have any questions, let me know through email or message me or send a carrier pigeon or something so I understand that you need my attention, and we'll go over it again and figure out where you're having difficulties. It's kind of fun. It's really a no-brainer. It's just like measuring how big your desk is, only in music, right? So see you next time.